Shout out to 86, man. It's rare I shout out Darius Slayton. You know what I'm saying? We know how I feel about Darius Slayton. And it is what it is. He did these things to me. I don't feel bad. Like, I ain't gonna. Darius Slayton is like that one family member who you really don't like, but they always around. So you learn to like them. Y'all know what I mean? It's like, you ever got that family member where it's like, y'all live in the same city, y'all don't really like each other, but y'all always forced to hang out with each other because y'all like in the same city. Or maybe that's just me and my family. But you might got a cousin who you really don't fuck with, but he's still your cousin. And it's just like y'all just around each other to the point where it's like you learn to like each other. That's how my relationship is with Darius Slayton at this point. I really don't like this nigga. But he's been on the Giants for what, 7, 8 years at this point? You know this motherfucker's like top 10 in every Giants wide receiver category. Yo, Yo, Darius Slayton about to pass. Yo, Darius Slayton about to pass mad receivers, bro. He's about to be up there with the Odells. He's about to be up there with the freaking Toomers and the Knicks and the Cruisers. I dare anybody watching this video to actually go look at Darius Slayton numbers as a Giant. It will blow your mind. Even I had to sit back and say, damn, by the end of this contract, this fool really gonna be like top 5 in every Giants receiving category. Like, for real, if Darius Slayton averages between 700 to 1,000 yards a season for the rest of this contract, he's really gonna be up there with with Giants greats. If Darius Slayton plays like another 6 years with the Giants, let's say Darius Slayton retires with the Giants, right? He plays another 6 or 7 years. There's a good chance he's going to go down as the all-time Giant in a lot of receiving categories. I don't know if that's I don't even know how to feel about that. But it's true. That's how bad the Giants receivers have been throughout. Well, hold on. Whoa. Let me say this. Okay. Knicks, Cruz, Odell. What do Knicks, Cruz, or Odell all have in common? Plexico too. What do Plexico, Knicks, Cruz, Odell all have in common? Do. They didn't play long as Giants. Odell had what, 4 years? Cruz had a good 4 years. Knicks didn't even get a second contract. Plexico had like a good 4-year run before he shot himself. Like, at some point, it's not that the Giants have had bad receivers throughout the years. It's just they don't stay with the Giants. Mario Manningham took a bag from San Francisco. Steve Smith didn't get the contract because he tried to go to Philly and got cut. Ruben Randall was filth. He's worse than Darius Slayton. So it's like, it's just, when you really think about it, as much as I rip Darius Slayton, if he finishes his career as a Giant, he's probably going to be number 1 or close to it in every Giants receiving category until Neighbors get to like 6, 7 years under his belt. But anyway, point is this. Darius Slayton, number 86, the nice guy, came out and defended Shedeur Sanders. And in the process, he had to roast a couple of DBs. Now, I appreciate him clapping at them DBs because he's such a nice guy that I didn't think he had it in him to trash talk. So when he was cooking the, people about Shedeur Sanders patting the ball and, because the criticism was that Shedeur Sanders passed the ball, the NFL DBs are too good for that. They're going to close in on the whatever. And Darius Slayton was like, oh, you mean the same DBs that bite on 3rd and 10 hitches all season long? You mean those DBs are going to close in on Shedeur Sanders? Yo, shout out to Darius Slayton. I like disrespectful shit. I like when people are disrespectful. So shout out to Darius Slayton for disrespecting a couple DBs in the NFL right now. I appreciate that. But this is actually important, Giants fans, because why would he defend Shedeur when he ain't even on the team yet? So what I'm getting at is that makes me feel even more confident that Shedeur's a giant. Because if he has this kind of energy and he's this defensive about Shedeur already, I think the energy in the building, I think the energy amongst the team, I'm not talking about the fan base. I'm talking about Darius Slayton and Malik Neighbors texting each other. I'm talking about Dexter Lawrence and Andrew Thomas texting each other. You know these dudes care about the draft. Or what you just think because they're millionaires, they're not watching the draft? They watching the draft. So it's like, I think that the consensus around Giants players is Shedeur is going number 3. I think they're all expecting the Giants to draft Shedeur Sanders. That's what because my thing is, why else would Slayton say that? Like, I've never seen a current established player, let's call it what it is. He's the highest paid player on our offense. Andrew Thomas don't count. He a damn tackle. Okay? I ain't counting Andrew Thomas. Besides Andrew Thomas, Darius Slayton is the highest paid actual skill position player on the Giants. So we got our highest paid weapon on offense defending the quarterback that everybody don't want us to take. It's a marriage made in heaven. I love it. Nobody wants us to draft the kid, and you got our highest paid receiver taken up for the kid, and he ain't even drafted yet. I love it. Don't get no better than that, because we know Cleveland ain't taking him. They're not taking him. Bro, the owner just came out and said we owe Deshaun $90 million. Come on, dude. They're not doing it. Yo, they're not doing it. Cleveland is not doing it. They're not about to give Shedeur $45 million, bro. The second overall pick at quarterback is going to get, what, 35 to 40 million? So they not about to dish out $60 million a year for the quarterback room. They're not about to do that, bro. They're not doing it. And besides, Cleveland wants to win now. Shedeur, as much as I love him, is not going to go into the AFC North and win now. Cleveland is trying to get them wins now. That's why they want a veteran. All right. So my whole thing is they're going to take Abdul Carter and they're going to pair him with Myles Garrett. That's what they're going to do, because that gives them the best chance to win in a North with Burrow, a North with Lamar. You're going to want Abdul Carter out there with Myles Garrett. Shedeur is going to fall to 3. You're a fucking idiot if you think the Giants are going to draft another wide receiver / corner instead of a quarterback. You're a fucking idiot if you think the Giants are going to draft Travis Hunter. I don't give a damn what position he plays. Our last 2 first-round picks have been wide receiver and cornerback. Our last 2 big free agent acquisitions have been defensive end, cornerback. And we just paid Darius Slayton. We're not drafting another. We're going quarterback. John Mara came out and said, we are getting the quarterback of the future. I love Russell Wilson. I think 36 is still prime years. He ain't the quarterback of the future. Jameis is my nigga. He ain't the quarterback of the future. Joe Shane and Brian Dable sold John Mara on draft for Shedeur Sanders. You think they're not going to do it? Like, I just think some of y'all are stupid, B. Like, some of y'all, like, you know why I think y'all are stupid? I think y'all are stupid because y'all don't think. Y'all don't think. And what I mean by y'all don't think is y'all don't think because y'all watch too much TV and you fall in love with the prospect. And when you fall in love with the prospect, you then lose the ability to give that prospect perspective. So everything y'all saying about Abdul Carter, you said about Kayvon Thibodeau. Let's just call a spade a spade. Everything you said about Abdul Carter, you said about Kayvon. How that turned out? Y'all want to replace Kayvon with Abdul Carter. When it comes to these quarterbacks, last year, none of these quarterbacks besides Caleb Williams was better than the previous crop of quarterbacks. The year before that, none of these quarterbacks are better than the previous crop of quarterbacks. And guess what's going to happen next year? If Shedeur Sanders and Cam Ward are good, everybody's going to come out and say the guy from, what's his name? Trevor Allure, whatever. I don't know his damn name. But there's a couple quarterbacks that are coming out next year. And they're going to be like, well, they're not as good as Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. It's like y'all are stupid because y'all say the same thing every year. This player would have been the 6th or 7th quarterback in last year's draft. Like, there's people out there that's really saying that Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders would have been 2nd-round picks in last year's draft. So let me get this straight. Y'all didn't even think Bo Nix was a 1st-round pick. But he's better than Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward because you've seen him play. Y'all are the same people that told me Trubisky was the best quarterback in the draft in 2017. How'd that turn out for y'all? Mahomes didn't get drafted number 1 overall. Deshaun Watson didn't get drafted number 1 overall. Y'all told me that the white boy from North Carolina had bigger upside than the champion from Clemson or the light-skinned nigga that put up the numbers at Texas Tech. That's what y'all told me, or A&M, wherever he played at. So it's just like, excuse me if I think y'all are stupid when you try to tell me that Shedeur Sanders isn't good. If Sean Payton listened to you, Bo Nix wouldn't be in Denver right now. They would have drafted a corner or something like that. If the Falcons listened to y'all and didn't draft Michael Penix, they wouldn't have a quarterback right now. Because Kirk Cousins is shot. Like, y'all are stupid. I just think 99% of the people who fall in love with the draft and 90% of the people who cover the draft, I just think it's stupid. Y'all are dumb. Y'all act like the draft is in a vacuum when it's not. What you need to do is look at past performance and say, okay, what happened this year? What happened that year? What happened this year? And then look at this year. You draft for need. You don't, when you don't, edge rusher, quarterback, offensive line are the 3 positions that you have to draft for need. You can't draft best player available when you don't have a quarterback. You can't draft best player available when you don't have a freaking offensive lineman. You can't draft best player available if you don't have a pass rush. You have to fill your positions of need before you draft best player available. I ain't got nothing else to say. This is a long ass video. That's it. That's all. Hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Drop the FUs in the comments if you rockin' with me. My name is FiskVicious, and I approve this message.